Hello, I'm Kim Warren and I'm here with Rob Brown, founder and chief executive of Opun Ltd, a home improvement assurance service. And maybe I could start by asking Rob to explain a little bit about how the business works.
Okay. Well, anyone who owns a house fully appreciates how difficult it is to get a tradesman to turn up and to do work in the house. Everyone knows it's a broken market. You have subscale businesses, and with the greatest respect to householders, they're pretty ignorant of the price that should be paid for anything. It's not a good recipe for a market to operate.
So this is not the kind of thing that an ordinary person does very often. So
you don't replace the roof on a house very often. You don't build a conservatory very often. Right. You don't even really decorate your room that often. So you don't really know what the price is. Right. Most of the solutions that are available in the marketplace, are marketplace models, right, which are kind of finder services. They're kind of like a Google with ratings.
Nothing more than a dating agency, really.
They're nothing more than a dating agency, and if you look at the small print on these sites, in the US, Home Advisor, and in Germany, My Hammer, and the UK, Rated People, and so on. You look at the small print on these sites, they put a disclaimer on there saying we absolutely don't take responsibility for the work that is conducted.
So how is Opun different from that?
So Opun takes responsibility for the work. So we've created a platform where the home improvement service can be coordinated for the benefit of the customer. It makes everything easy for the customer. Right. So we take responsibility and we ensure the work happens. So the customer spends money, they do not have that 20% risk that things will go wrong with their money. Right. Sure, things go wrong, but we sort them out and we fix the market.
So what did your first model actually do? How did that work?
So the first model of the market is very simple. If we were to spend so much on acquisition of customers, and if we had such a dropout of customers who are interested in us, and a dropout of customers who are not interested in our price or our service, and a dropout, and so on and so forth. So simply the potato sorter of
so a kind of waterfall of who's left in terms of
what would you have to spend
theoretically
to get how many customers,
right.
And what would those customers be spending, and therefore what's the quantum.
So this was quite a simple model initially. It was
very simple. I mean, the very first step is, of course, you start with something really simple, and then say, well, if that's true, then that's quite interesting, and then you refine it, and then you add more and more complexity to the point where you feel as though you've got an authentic representation of how things might turn out.
So that's the customer pipeline, and you've got something similar on the tradespeople as well?
Correct, yes. So we know that particularly in this market, that we're promising to customers that we will get their home improvement work done. For that, we need a supply of tradespeople or trades businesses to deliver that. So if we overpromise to customers, then we don't have sufficient supply, then customers are waiting a long time for their job to start, or we don't get the prices. So balance is important.
Right. So the second part of the model was looking at what is the feasible rate at which I can find and qualify tradespeople.
Correct.
And match that against the volume of jobs that have to be done. And presumably some simple financials bolted on the back end.
Very simple financials. Our approach all the way through has been to let's try and understand the broad dynamics of the business and the opportunity, and to work out the detailed financial plan by extracting those numbers and putting them into a traditional accounting spreadsheet. And so you can work out your costs and your overhead by line, so many vehicles, so many people, so many salaries, so many this. That's better done in an accounting format where you are doing monthly budgeting and so on. So the dynamic thinking feeds the more detailed planning in a spreadsheet, which is easily recognisable by any accountant.
So you built a simple model before you actually started the business. Then you got the business going.
No plan survives contact with the enemy, right? So when you start off, you realise things are not quite performing the way that you expected them to perform. The two supply chains of customers and of trades businesses are still there. We've added more stages to those things, we've added refinements to that, and so on. So it has been a living document, if you like, as we've moved through. And also, it's informed our internal measurement lexicon, if you like. So we have phrases which are based around the rates of change to each stock in the model.
So you've been able to take the kind of key performance indicators that the model tells you need, and that's what informs the way that the business talks about itself.
Exactly. And what I was very surprised at is the enthusiasm with which other people adopted the idea from the outset. Because it just makes complete logical sense to everyone in the business.
Right. And that model then was quite influential in actually helping you raise quite substantial money, right?
I think it's we've raised quite a lot of money to date. We're always on the hunt for more money. Yes, it's been very helpful, and I think yes, it was it's more evidence that we're thinking properly about our business and so on, but also it's not just smoke and mirrors. It is actually that authentically we are thinking about our business. We believe in our own business model, and we're tracking it. And and if we hit those conversion rates, we will get those sales.
So you're not just sharing you've moved on to what I call stage 3 now, which is that you're actually using the model on a continuous basis to make weekly decisions, right, about marketing spend and hiring and all those kinds of things. But you're actually sharing those results in real time with investors as well.
So our principal institutional investors get those results in a stylized form. Then I think the next stage 3 is where we make clear the structure of the dynamic chain to everyone in the business. They're aware that they have certain dynamic metrics, and there is this word dynamics that's thrown around the business. I think the executive management understand, or they do understand, particularly my co-founder understands really well the principles on which we operate and why it's important. And as you get further down, that understanding gets less, but what they are looking at when they see the management accounts at our trading reports every week are the rates of change to the stocks in the business.
So they see and understand their little role in the picture, but they also see it in the context of how the whole business is operating. I know in the new venture world there's no guarantees of success or even survival, but you seem to have survived pretty well for 2 years so far. Prospects looking good?
Prospects are looking excellent. Really good. Obviously, there's a huge demand in the industry for what we're doing. Every householder says, "When can you come and help me out?" The challenges around the supply base, and there are lots of challenges in organising that. We're probably under-teched at the moment. The technology can do an awful lot more to improve the productivity of the whole process. As you grow, you're building the aeroplane as you're heading down the runway, or whatever analogy you want, and you're patching it together with whatever materials are available at the time, and it's not always the most logical and
So you're actually having to adapt the model as your understanding of how the business model actually works. Wonderful, good. Well, I must wish you the very best of good fortune going forward. I'm very, very good. I'm delighted. And thank you very much for sparing the time to talk to us.